you can do so much without a lot of money to really build a prototype, to build a team, to start to build a little app that can grow into a bigger app. There's this sort of merging of these two tidal waves. The technology is now much more accessible to many more people.
So very excited to have my friend Jeff here. Jeff, welcome to the show. First question I have for you is I'm curious if you remember way back when you were a child, what were your dreams and what did you want to do when you grow up?
Oh, I absolutely remember. I wanted to be a professional hockey player
Ah, why?
because I grew up in Philadelphia, and the Philadelphia Flyers were and still are a big team and a big deal.
Hmm.
And I just looked up to them and thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And that's what I wanted to be.
What changed?
In a way, nothing's changed. I think if you told me that I could still be a professional hockey player, I would absolutely sign up for that right now. But I think the realities of life set in at a very
Mm.
early age, and I realized that, yeah, it's not what I'm meant to do. But that was one. And if I think back even earlier than that, there was definitely a time where I wanted to be a fireman
Ah, why?
because I remember I was enamored with the big red
Mm.
truck going by and this idea that you could go fight fires and save people. And there was something really inspiring to me about that.
What happened and why did you decide to suddenly travel for a year?
So one night while we were counting tips, which was
Yeah.
a bunch of wet $1 bills at 3 o'clock in the morning, one of my friends and fellow bartenders
Mm.
looked at me and he was like, I really want to go see a lot of different places around the world. And I said, I do too.
Mm.
And we, on a cocktail napkin, started just writing the names of different cities that we wanted
Wow.
to travel to. And that sort of evolved into an itinerary. And the next thing I knew, I was packing up a backpack
Mhm.
and setting off. And we had one rule, or I should say, we had one guiding principle,
Uh-huh.
which was we wanted to stay as far off the beaten path as possible.
Ah.
At that time, many people that I knew were traveling to places like London or
Mm.
Rome or Paris. We went to the most remote parts of Indonesia or
Wow.
very remote areas of India and Southeast Asia. And I will tell you, it may be one of the most valuable things I've ever done with my life. It's just being exposed to how other people live. It's an experience that I will treasure for as long as I live.
One of the things I was really inspired as you're hearing in this conversation is just his pure honesty and authenticity into his past, present, future. And I think often as leaders, we don't talk enough about it. I appreciate you sharing about whether it was your bartending time, to your time backpacking, to the entrepreneurship, and now the current work. Often I feel like as leaders, we like to only talk about the fancy success and not enough about that part I wasn't clear. Like we tend to like put that under the rug. And I appreciate you sharing that. No, those were all equally important parts of my chapter. It helped me be who I am. And so I'm curious, what would you share to like young Jeff way back when, before all of this? What would you want to share with him, knowing where you are today?
That's a good one. One lesson or one piece of advice I would share is it's going to take longer than you ever imagined. Another one is to slow down. This is going to sound ironic, but one would be to slow down. So many people in the world, certainly in the world of startups, are fail fast, quick iteration, like speed is your ally. And those are all true. But for me, there's a lot of value in just slowing down. Those are a couple things that I would share. And maybe one last one, like,
Yeah.
just try to enjoy it. Life is not worth
Yeah.
like the constant stress and anxiety that so many founders and early stage startup people put themselves under. There's a lot more to life than whether you raise a seed round of capital, even though at the moment I know that it feels like that's the only thing in life. It's not.
That's really meaningful. Speaking of making sure you slow down, I'm curious how you slow down and how you make the time to take care of yourself because this world is unfortunately still full of litter. And so it's keeping you and your team very busy.
Yeah, I don't do a good enough job of slowing down. It's a practice. I try to make sure that I'm really present with my family, although I know I can do a better job of that as well. Pretty active yoga practice. And for me, there's a great phrase. I don't remember where I heard it, but someone talked about the concept of stacking days. So I don't really set with that sort of practice. I don't set goals. I just try to stack days. Like today's just another day to practice. And I believe in the idea that those incremental steps compound over time. Yeah, that's how I look at it.